Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. This is our Monday mortgage update with the incredibly talented and brainiac on loans, the one and only Andy Fulton. He's president of sales at Future Home Loans, a company I'm very excited to work with. And we every week are going to kind of give you an update on what's going on a little bit in the market, but certainly we're going to give you information that's super important for your transactions, for your own business, and to help you close more loans. Welcome, Andy. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Ted. Thanks for having me on again.
I'm excited every week. We got tons of great feedback on our first one. I had 2 realtors reach out. You don't even know based on that. So excellent information that we're providing. I'm not doing the providing. Andy's doing the providing. So what are we going to talk about this week? Give us a little 411 on what's happening and what you want to talk about today.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about increasing the number of qualified buyers that are in the market and helping as many people as we can in the market, get to their dream of becoming a homeowner.
Perfect. All right, let's take a deep dive. I'm ready.
So a couple things, right? I think for anybody that's a realtor that's got some experience knows that clients can be pre-approved or pre-qualified for a mortgage transaction prior to going out and shopping for a home. I think what's important for all of us to remember is no matter who it is, if somebody raises their hand saying they're interested in buying a home, we should all lean forward and try to help out, right? But most of us can't just go buy a home for cash. We all need to borrow money to buy a home that we need to live in. And I think what our goal here at Future Home Loans is we want to be as helpful as we possibly can. We want to help everybody and anybody we can to qualify for a mortgage. Not everybody can qualify for a mortgage today, and we want to figure that out as quick as we can. And we also want to help those folks that maybe aren't ready today be ready tomorrow. So we do a lot of good work with clients over the course of weeks and months to come to say, hey, the answer from us is not no, it's just not yet. And so for those that tend to kind of fit into the box that they can qualify for a mortgage, there are different values in different pre-approvals. Right? In general, a client can provide just general information to a mortgage lender, like about how much they make a year and how much money do they potentially have saved. And those generalities in those conversations can result in a pre-approval letter that somebody can go out and shop and create confidence for you as the realtor and for a seller to say, hey, they're qualified. But that doesn't mean they're qualified. And I think in some of those cases, there's this really poor experience that happens not just for our clients that are trying to buy homes where they find out the last minute, hey, those generalities that I shared with a mortgage lender up front, we needed to verify those. And they didn't verify in the way that I thought they would. And now I'm learning a week before I'm supposed to close that I can't. And that's a painful experience for everybody. We try to avoid that at all costs. And the best way to do that is to be as thorough and as accurate as we possibly can with our clients at the very beginning. We want to complete a mortgage application for pre-approval. We want to verify income and asset information from the clients. And we actually want to turn a pre-approval into a mortgage commitment letter. That way, when a client goes and makes an offer on a home and a seller accepts that offer, really all that's left is the work on the property, the appraisal of the property, the title work on the property. Everything else about approving the credit of the client is complete. And we have one in particular system called Bolt. It's through United Wholesale Mortgage, one of our top wholesale lenders, that actually happens immediately. We have the ability to immediately underwrite the income and the asset documents a client provides to us and provide a mortgage commitment letter within 10 to 15 minutes of the mortgage application being complete and having those documents. And so our whole goal is to create a lot of confidence for our buyers, a lot of confidence for our real estate partners that when you go in and you make an offer on a home, we're ready to go.
I love that. I think a lot of times people get we call it here a pre-qualification letter versus a pre-approval. They've gotten the basic information. They may have run credit. They may not have. They've taken the borrower or potential borrower at their word, and they issue this paper that's not even worth what it's written on. And they go out and they shop for a home, and then they're immediately disappointed. The big deal for that, to me, isn't just the disappointment of the borrower, but it's the integrity and the questioning of the realtor. the realtors out there making an offer, and maybe they haven't qualified yet. And I think realtors need to work with partners that will educate and actually do the pre-approval process for them in the right way. When everything was super crazy, I saw pre-qualification letters from some crazy places that I'd never heard of. And if you do your research and that website's down or it doesn't exist, you probably don't have a real pre-approval. So it's so important for us to continue to educate our realtor partners on that.
Yeah, I agree. Really, the only cost to our clients is time. There's no cost to obtaining a pre-approval letter. Future Home Loans covers the cost of credit reports for pre-approvals. And we have a team ready and willing to put our time and energy behind going through your personal information and your income and asset documents so that we can ensure and give you the confidence that you're ready to buy. And I think the time's worth it, right? Usually for most of us, buying a home is going to be one of the largest investments we make in our life. And I think putting maybe 15, 20 minutes into something and collecting some documents is worth making sure that investment goes well.
Yeah, and what Andy's saying for the 15, 20 minutes is correct. We're not asking for blood or your first sacrifice, your firstborn. This is basic, really basic information, but we're taking a deeper dive than you may be used to. It's not to be intrusive. It's to make sure that when you make that offer, you 100% know this is for real. And what I see a lot happening is a lot of these realtors are not paying attention to the lender that their borrower is using, and that can create such a nightmare for them later. I hear the horror stories.
Yeah, and I encourage every realtors, do not discourage clients from applying for a pre-approval, even if they've shared things with you that you feel like might make it more difficult for them to be approved for financing. The worst thing you could do is discourage them, right? Most loan officers, most lenders out there, they want to help everybody, and we're in that boat as well. And it doesn't matter if there's maybe something that's been a challenge with their credit recently, or they've had a change in income, or there's just something to it that you go, you might need to wait a little while. Let us determine that, right? Don't be afraid to ask Future Home Loans to put our time and energy into every single client you have that's interested in buying a home. We want that responsibility. We want that accountability, and we'll make sure we do the right thing for every one of these clients.
Absolutely. Think about it. If all the renting issues that we have, especially here in Florida, for example, if they've finally gotten off the renting fence and they're ready to make a move, the last thing that you want to do is discourage them. We don't want to discourage them. We'd like to know the scenario. We'd like to run the scenario. We'd like to find out if there are pain points and what we can do to help them rectify those. I forget exactly what you said at the beginning of the show, Andy, but if not now, yet, or something like that.
Not yet. We're not no's. We're not yets.
Yes, I love that, because that's what you want. And that's how you build realtors. That's how you build a long-term database, client referrals. If you take the time, we're willing to take the time too. And I think that's also critical when you have a referral partner, somebody that you trust and know. We want to take the time with them. They're eventually going to buy at some point, and I'd like to be there. We'd like to be there with you when that actually happens. Andy, tell us just a little bit about what you see in the market right now. The last time we did the show, the first show, I had a lot of people ask me, hey, can you ask that every week? I'd like to kind of know what you all see from a professional standpoint.
Yeah, there was a really good article that came out, I believe, yesterday morning from Fortune. And if you haven't had a chance yet to find that article, I would recommend every real estate professional read it. It's just an opinion from Fortune on where are we today in the real estate market and where do we think we're going to be over the course of the next year. And inflation has had an impact, and we feel it clearly in mortgage interest rates today. I'd say mortgage rates are up nearly 2.5, 3 points from where they were at the beginning of the year. And I tended to agree with a lot of the expectations and the economic forecast out of that Fortune magazine, which forecast a couple things. One, and this isn't a forecast, this is fact, housing sales have slowed down nationally, and they've actually slowed down in more markets than previously expected. Two, because of the slowdown, it's probably going to have broader reaching impact within just the U.S. economy, right? So home builders will probably pull back a little bit on buying more homes. People will buy less refrigerators. And so those types of things will have a broader impact just on the economy and other businesses as well. But the real important message in this article was, I believe, because there still is this other issue in the real estate market, and supply, right? Supply and inventory has been an issue in this market for a good 5-6 years now. And that all stems back to the financial crisis of 2008 to 2012. We just haven't built enough homes in the last 15 years in this country for the number of people that want to live in a home. And although home buyers are looking at interest rates today, and they're looking at the market today, and they're thinking, I might wait a little longer before I buy a house. And that could cause some prices to maybe pull back a little bit over the course of the next year. We also think sellers are maybe thinking, if they have the opportunity, to hold off selling their home over the course of the next year or so, which is probably going to create some level of consistency in home prices in most markets. And at some point, when we stop worrying about inflation, we believe both sellers and buyers will enter back into the market pretty strong. 2023, probably going to be much like a year of 2022. And I think the bigger message is, for all of us that are in real estate industry, we need to double our efforts, right? There are going to be plenty of clients across this country that are going to need to buy a new home next year, are going to want to buy a vacation home. Not everybody fits into that box that Fortune 500 talked about, or Fortune. So we need to be prepared to go find those clients. We need to be prepared to go capture that market. There's going to be many people that don't put the effort and the energy into their real estate business like we do, and they're going to exit this market, and we have an opportunity to fill that gap and gain more client share over the course of the next 6 to 9 months. As long as we have really strong sales activities, we do a great job for our clients, and we do a really, really good job building relationships in these markets that are long lasting.
So true. You don't really need me for this show. I mean, I can exit out at any point. No, I love that kind of information because the realtors are hungry for it. They know they have to get back to basics, which I've been talking with a lot of my realtor partners about, and they've got to find a way to penetrate the market if they're feeling like they're not. There are a ton of people who want to buy, and you just have to kind of work with your partners. That's what I encourage. And there are a lot of people a lot of mortgage companies jumped out when the interest rates started hitting higher. And so if you've got a client in your database that maybe wasn't working for it 6 months ago, you never know. We'd like an opportunity to help them, because what Andy said is absolutely true. It's our culture. We want to help. We want to see them in that house, and we want to help you grow your business as a real estate professional. All right, we'll be back next week with this. Andy Fulton, thank you so much for sharing all those gems. Whenever you speak, I'm like, wow, that is such good information. And I appreciate you sharing it with everybody.
Thank you, Ted. And thank you.
All right, guys, we'll see you soon. We'll see you back next week. If you have questions or want Andy to talk about something in particular, just let me know, and I will make sure it gets addressed on the show.